I want to remind you that today, let me just triple check this, from 12:30 today to 1:30, we're going to be doing the Master the Basics series. And today it is going to be about master your business plan. So if you're struggling in any way with your business plan, you need clarity on what a GPS is, what a 411 is, what a growth plan is, any of that kind of stuff. From 12:30 to 1:30, we'll be covering that in here. I'm sorry, in Candace's room. Also want to remind everyone that the Growth Mastermind is today from 11 to 12 in this room. So the Growth Mastermind, remember, is we really just get all of the people, it's kind of a little bit more geared towards agents that are a little beyond kind of just getting started. But anyone is welcome to join, but it's going to be a little higher level conversation ideally. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the things that agents in that productivity kind of zone are encountering. Many of which, by the way, are probably some of the same things you guys are encountering with respect to multiple offers and creating urgency and winning and winning with sellers and winning with buyers. But if you're in that group, feel free to come and join us and participate. That's from 11 to 12 today in this room. I will also be doing some live lead gen as soon as the huddle is over. So if you'd like to come and hang out with me, or I'm happy to kind of listen to some of your calls and give you some advice and some feedback and help you with some of the objections and scripting and all that kind of thing. Okay, so that'll be today from probably about 9:30 or so to 11. Okay, all right. Who wants to share a little good news, and then we'll move right into the video.
Hey, Bill, I'll share.
Please. I can always count on you to share good news. Thank you.
I got the contract this morning for my clients that I showed on Tuesday. So I will hopefully go on the contract today.
Beautiful.
And last night I showed another home in Tucker that I put an offer in for last night. And the agent actually wrote back at like 10:30. I already had communication with her throughout the day. And she was like, thank you so much for this strong offer. My client will be making a decision by this weekend. So fingers crossed that we'll get that one as well. So that'll be 3 for the month. So I'm excited.
Wow. Great job.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Awesome.
What I would do, Markia, on that one where the woman said it's a strong offer, I'll let you know this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I would call her back and say, I am so grateful for you thanking me for the offer. And what would make me even more happy is if we win. So
yes.
If there is anything that I need to do or my client needs to do, any small tweak, we could potentially be open to doing that. I just want to win.
And that's exactly what I told her, Bill. And I also in the email I said, hey, I said, this is a very strong offer. I said, if your client wants to counter it, just let me know. Cause I put an escalation, I put out the escalation clause. I think the house going for like 200, we did 215. And then we just said that we're willing to do 2,000, not to exceed 220 in the escalation. So I told her that we're willing to do a counter, but I'm also going to give her another call today as well.
Awesome. Because you never know with some people. Sometimes it's not about the money, and it could be like, hey, I was offended because I wanted to pick the closing attorney, or I was offended because they want to close on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday. I mean, it could literally be anything that sets somebody off. And so if they know that like some little change like that is not a big deal, just say, hey, if I'm close, just give me a call. Just give me one last chance, okay? I don't want to lose.
Will do. Thank you, Bill.
No problem. I find that just being that much more blunt with the other agent is really helpful. I mean, you're not promising that your client will agree to something that's completely unreasonable. You're not even promising that they'll agree to something completely reasonable. You're just asking for an additional chance.
I have one last thing to share, Bill.
I know we need a whole nother session for you to share all of your successes. Go ahead.
Well, with the contract, it was a new construction, and I called the agent, but the homes weren't available on the MLS. But he was like, these two, they're gonna release them because they're pretty much completed, but somebody's returning them back. So I went to show my buyer, and I also was like, told my buyer, hey, go ahead and get pre-approved with their lender so that they know we're serious. And I'm just gonna continue to bug him and say, hey, don't forget about me. And so when they went to drop off the earnest money yesterday, the agent told them and said, I had so many more people to call besides your agent, but your agent is the one that won you this offer because she stayed consistent. And, she just had this spirit about her that I felt like I had to call her. So they was like, your agent definitely made this not go active on the MLS and made me call her directly for you all to get this deal. So I was really excited about their network too.
Man, I can't even, that is amazing in so many different ways. That is awesome. Great job. I'm trying to think of like a way that you can get a testimonial from that agent without it implying that maybe they just
Didn't do the right.
I'm going to ponder that, because if you could get another agent talking about how great you did at representing your client, that is a really good testimonial, right?
Yes.
Candace, we might have to brainstorm on that so it doesn't make this on-site agent feel vulnerable to her boss or whatever, or his boss. But I'd love to get something to communicate that story to, about.
Yeah. Wheels are turning.
Wheels are turning,
awesome.
guys. Yeah, great job.
Thank you, Candace.
All right. Let's get inspired. Give me 1 second while this thing shares. It was behaving great earlier. All right. Can you see it okay?
Not yet.
There we go, right? Can you see it now?
Yeah,
Yes.
I've got it now.
All right, here we go.
Great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role, always about the goal. Here's the 7 lessons we can learn from the geese. Number 1, sharing a common goal. As each goose flaps its wings, it creates uplift and aerodynamics orientation that reduces air friction for the birds that follow. By flying in a V formation, the whole flock achieves a 70% greater flying range than if each bird flew alone. Lesson: people who share a common direction and goal can get where they're going quicker and with less effort because they benefit from the momentum of the group moving around them. Make sure your team is aligned towards a common goal. Number 2, increasing visibility. Flying in a V formation increases the visibility as every goose can see what's happening in front of them. The lesson here is to make our organization visible in both org chart directions. Having top-down visibility enables leaders to stay connected with the edges of the organization to make better informed decisions. Bottom-up visibility enables teams to see the bigger picture, engages them, and empowers them to better align themselves with the organizational objectives. If we have as much sense as a goose, we will stay in formation, joining those heading in the direction we want to go. The sense of community emerges with a willingness to work as a team. Not only is it more efficient, the flock together has better visibility of its surroundings and is more visible as a collective. Number 3, having humility to seek help. When a goose falls out of formation, it suddenly feels the friction of flying alone. It then quickly adjusts to the mistake and moves back into the formation to take advantage of the lifting power of the bird immediately in front of it. Lesson: be humble to admit the challenges we face and to seek help as soon as we get stuck. This humility will enable you and your team to move faster and achieve more. If we have the sense of the goose, we will openly and confidently acknowledge when we need help and gratefully accept the support that is offered, and we'll fly harder to stay up with the flock so we can all go longer distances with ease. Number 4, Empowering others to lead. When the lead goose in the front gets tired, it rotates back into the formation and allows another goose to take the leadership position. Lesson: empower others to also lead. Micromanaging and keeping tight control will burn you out. It will also disengage and demotivate others around you. People have unique skills, capabilities, and gifts to offer. Give them autonomy, trust, and a chance to shine, and you will be surprised with the outcomes. Number 5, always recognizing great work. The geese ought to recognize each other and encourage those up front to keep up their speed. Lesson: make sure we praise people and give them the recognition they deserve. Lack of recognition is one of the main reasons team members are unsatisfied at work and quit. It's very common for people's efforts to go unnoticed by their peers in a busy and fast-moving work environment. However, remembering to constantly provide recognition and encouragement is vital, and it keeps teams motivated to achieve their goals. Number 6, offering support in challenging times. When a goose gets sick or wounded, 2 geese drop out of the formation and follow it down to help and protect it. They stay with it until it dies or is able to fly again. Then they launch out with another formation or catch up with the flock. Lesson: standing by each other in difficult times. It's easy to always be part of winning teams, but when things get difficult and people are facing challenges, that's when your teammates need you the most. If we have the sense of the goose, we will stand by each other when things get rough, and we will willingly take the support and guidance that's an offer. Number 7, staying committed to core values and purpose. The geese migration routes never vary. They use the same route year after year. Even when the flock members change, the young learn the route in their parents. In the spring, they will go back to the spot where they were born. Lesson: stay true to our core values and purpose. Strategies, tactics, and products may change in order for an organization to remain agile, but great companies always stick to their core purpose and values and preserve them with vigor. If we have the sense of the roots, we will recover and regroup and resume formation with the greater team headed in the direction that we want to go. And we will stick with the plan until we succeed. Thanks for watching this video. Share and subscribe.
Okay, who wants to share a thought?
So I know that that was a lot like a corporate video, but I thought the lessons from the geese were so powerful. And each of us in this organization, Keller Williams as agents, are leaders, and we're leading others with our, for instance, our clients, for instance, our vendors. So I thought the lessons were so powerful that it was worth seeing. And I hope you feel that way.
Oh, I certainly did. I mean, even the video yesterday and the video today, like, studying the behavioral patterns of these animals gives you such a clue as to maybe some of the very simple things we could do to change our attitudes and to change our demeanor and our motivation, etc. And you can learn from some of their missteps too, of course, right? Cool. Anyone else want to share?
I will. What I took at it from it, even though some of us are single agents, when you see your teammate falling behind, sometimes it's okay to lend a hand and pull somebody back up and show them that support. Because if we're all there for each other, none of us will fall. None of us will fall. So that's what I took from it. Move as a unit. There's enough money. There's enough clients. There's enough everything for everyone. So help somebody out. Be kind to somebody. Uplift them. And I think that we do that every day in this group because we have such a great support system.
Oh man, you guys are making me feel so proud today. I'm glad to be a part of this. I agree completely, and I imagine that many of you would agree with this statement. Is I've been in organizations in the past that weren't like this, And I suspect that you guys have been in organizations in the past that weren't as supportive as they could have been, or didn't make you feel the way you wanted to feel, or didn't encourage you the way that you deserved. And gosh, for those that have not been anywhere but Keller Williams, trust me, you don't know how lucky you are. Okay, you just flat out don't know how lucky you are. Yeah, I saw Candace moving towards the mute button. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, you know, yeah, I was going to second that, because I've been in a lot of organizations, and there's no place like home. But I wanted to say that even what occurred to me as I was watching it again is that Markia shared something that we can all learn from. So she was making our path easier as being the head goose, of showing us how to develop a relationship with an on-site agent. And that's a leadership role that she exhibited this morning. And that's really powerful, because I was already thinking, oh, I need to beef up my relationships a little bit. And so that's a powerful example that she set for us.
Well, I was thinking about a different powerful example she set for us this morning, which was she kind of gave permission, if you will, to the group that it was okay to share, right? So sometimes we are reluctant to share something that we're struggling with because we don't want to be judged or something like that, because maybe we should know it, or maybe we should go somewhere else for the answer or something like that. So I want to formally give everyone permission. Hey, this is a place where we're here to help one another and to learn. So if you have something you're struggling with, it is almost a certainty that somebody else is struggling with the same thing. And she also gives permission for people to celebrate, right? I mean, gosh, we work really hard, right? We're gonna have some tough days out there. Who was I speaking to? Ebony last night for a few minutes, and I said to her, I said, look, if you don't think about quitting this business like once a month, you're not talking to enough people. Flat out. Again, if you don't think about quitting this business once a month, you're just not having enough conversations. Okay. And so there's gonna be some tough days, right? You're building a business from virtually nothing. Okay. So gosh, when we get a contract signed, or we book an appointment, or like something goes our way, like, man, take a second to acknowledge the hard work that you've done. And your peers, sometimes they're waiting for a moment like you just had, Markia, right? So that they can rebuild their confidence. But in the meantime, they can borrow your moments, right? So, and they can borrow the moments of other people that decide to share. Okay, so you all have my permission. You can share anytime you want, okay? So tomorrow when I say, hey, who's got something to share? All of us are gonna like light up the screen, right? Okay. All right. I want to talk to you guys about, actually, I got one more very quick piece of kind of housekeeping. So I don't know if I ever clearly communicated this to everyone, and I'm not sure I even completely understood it, but I had a really long conversation with Melba yesterday, or 2 days ago. And the clarity I have now around Ignite is a little different than I had before. And I want to make sure everyone understands this. You can audit Ignite for free. Okay. It's the same link. Well, I don't know that for sure, but I have the link for the rest of this class at least. And the only reason you have to pay is if you want the credit. But if you just want the knowledge, or you've already been there, then you can attend any Ignite class you'd like. And I will tell you, I hung out with Melba for about 20 or so minutes yesterday in Ignite. You should be coming out of Ignite with some clients, that's for sure. I mean, if you're doing the things she's telling you to do, if you're visiting the properties, you're writing the notes, you're doing your homework, you're learning the contracts, I mean, there is no reason you shouldn't be coming out of that group without business, okay? So if you're feeling kind of a little shaky on some of the skills and some of the knowledge, pop into Ignite and let's get re-energized, okay? Any thoughts or questions on that?
Where can I get the link?
I'll send you the link right now. or let me finish this and then I'll send it to you. Jenny, did you have a question?
Yeah. So I started right as she was starting a new session or a new what is it, the 8-week series. Can you start that anytime, or do you have to start with the very beginning to get the credits as a new licensee?
It is a progression, right? However, you could like do, the second half this time and then the first half next time or something. Just mention that to her, so because if you need the credit, she has to like, it's a little bit different of a process. Like you have to be in it, you can't like leave halfway through and these kind of things. She has to verify that you were in class for all those appropriate days. So if you have a kind of an unusual situation like that, just notify her of what you're intending to do, and I'm sure it'll be just fine. From a like, will I understand like session 8 if I haven't seen session 5? Truthfully, probably not as good, but I still think it's probably worthwhile for you to be in there.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And all the material, like you get all the material, so you can go back and do some self-study until the real class.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Does anybody have a growth plan? If I were to say, show me your growth plan, or do you have a growth plan? Does anyone have anything that they would maybe think of as a growth plan, or maybe somebody's seen mine and tried to build something, or does anyone even know what I'm talking about? Come on, Markia, give everyone permission to talk now. You guys are tough. Come on, it's bad enough I'm looking at black screen.
I'm taking the dog out.
Is that the same as the 411, or is it, similar?
There are some components that would appear in both, but it's a different product. It's a different tool. Okay, I'll just tell you. Okay, here is my growth plan. Okay, and I will admit it is not as thorough as it, in my opinion, should be. But let me help you understand kind of, these are some of this is how I designed it, okay? The growth plan is basically an intentional, it is a tool that forces you to be intentional, okay? So what I mean by that is, I've seen it a lot of different ways to structure it, but this is probably my favorite one, okay? And we had to tweak it a little bit because of COVID, but for example, it has all the months, and in the months, it says, what am I planning to learn this month? What am I planning to read or listen to this month? What am I potentially planning to teach this month? And what am I planning to attend this month? So it's essentially it is a forced accountability / forced growth model that says, hey, if I'm intentionally growing, I will have better results than if I live a kind of happenstance life. Is that fair to say? Okay, so some of these items, if not all these items, would probably appear on the 411. You are right. This is kind of like a companion to the 411, or really almost to the GPS, that you would look at, maybe once a month or so, and say, oh, okay, April's coming along. So I wanted to learn, I'm in MAPS coaching. Okay, so that's my learning for the month. Okay, I read or listen to, I want to read 2 books, The Psychology of Money and The 12-Week Year. Do I have a copy of those? I need to, right? So I do have a copy of The 12-Week Year, although I think I let somebody borrow it. So I got to look up, I got to go get another one. And I got to get this other book. It's The Preparation, right? I mean, how the hell am I going to read it if I don't have it? Right? I got to do some planning. What am I going to teach? I haven't put this here. Melody always wants me to teach a business planning class every month, and I usually teach something else too, right? And what am I going to attend? Right? Am I going to attend any type of event like mega camp or career visioning or something of that nature? Right? So every month, what do you, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I know many of us are not really in a position to be teaching, but it could be, are you going to teach anything to your kids? Are you going to teach anything to your kids? Like, let me just give a I'm going to take a 1 minute sidebar for a second. Okay. We've been having, I think yesterday was the second or third week that we did the Georgia Legacy Group Social Equity Mastermind Book Club. We've been reading a book called The Color of Law. And the concept is about like how basically government either programs or lack of programs have created all kinds of kind of informal segregation practices and huge differences in wealth building for people of color, and the list goes on and on and on. And one of the concepts that we were talking about yesterday was this idea of like, what are the kind of the money concepts that families teach as generations are happening, right? And somebody told a story about this, I think it was her cousin or something, that gave her 11-year-old, I'm not making a judgment here, okay, I'm just telling you the story, gave her 11-year-old a debit card, and she put like her allowance on the debit card each week. And that was the way she was teaching her daughter how to handle money. But she was only teaching her daughter how to spend money. She wasn't teaching her daughter investment concepts and saving practices and charitable practices and these kind of things. You see what I'm saying? And it wasn't like she was doing it intentionally. She just had never been taught that stuff, right? So remember, we're leaders in a lot of different parts of our world, right? We might be a leader at church or a leader in our relationship or a leader with our children. What do you want to teach those people? Right? You see what I'm saying? So this could go in a lot of different directions. It doesn't have to be a real estate only tool, if that makes sense. Okay. So this is just it's kind of a one sheet, and I don't think I've seen anyone else do this, but I went ahead and put some of my major goals on here. So PC goals, I wanted 185 PC students by the end of the year. Okay. So help me out. 848 listings taken. We are beating pace. 477 units sold. We are a hair behind pace, but we are en route. Okay. Markia might single-handedly get me there. No laughter, nothing.
I laughed.
I laughed too, but I was muted.
All right. The family homes group, my sales group, I want my group to go on appointments. I want my group to have closings. I want a partner agent, right? And although this isn't really a part of the team, but I've got some profit share goals as well, right? I still have a group of people that I've brought to Keller Williams that are essentially building their profit share trees with my help, and that helps me, right? So that's an important part of my growth plan, and so it deserves a place on the thing. You see what I'm saying? So a growth plan could be just about anything. It could be, I want to learn about coding, or I want to learn about small houses or teeny houses, whatever it's called. I want to learn about some type of mortgage product. I want to learn Spanish. It could be anything, right? So as future leaders or current leaders that likely will have a kind of a bigger audience in the future, it's not going to be long before you reach out to somebody and say, hey, I've created a lot of chaos here, and I need some help controlling all this chaos. So would you like a job with me? Right? Would you like an opportunity with me? And they walk in and they see that you are a complete moron because you don't have any systems in place. You don't have any follow-up in place. You don't know how to run a business. You have no leadership skills. They're going to last for like 3 seconds in your organization before they're like, no, I'm not working here. You see what I'm saying? So as we're growing our business, we have to grow ourselves so that we become attractive to talented people that we cross paths with. You follow me? If you've got C-level, and I'm not suggesting any of you have this, but if you've got C-level leadership, you don't get to lead B and A players. It just does not work that way. If I'm a C leader, no A's are going to be led by me. They're not even going to want to spend time with me. Does that make sense? Okay, what are you guys hearing? Oh my goodness.
I'll say it.
All right, Candace, you go first.
I was just gonna say, we need to constantly work on our improvement on our plan and review it regularly and start to develop our systems. And we don't need to know it all at once because it's always going to change and it's always going to grow. But if we start putting these foundational pieces in place, we're on our way.
That's right. And you make progress every single day. Did I see Marquia's square light up? Or Corey's?
Yes, Bill. I just took from it that you don't have to be so consistent with just only developing, your real estate career. Like if you want, like how you said, if you want to learn Spanish, or for me personally, I want to get an investment property, and I talked with Candace about it. And she was just like, why don't you watch videos every single week to figure out how you're going to get there versus just saying that's what you want to do. So you just have to develop, all your skills and goals in a systematic way, I guess I should say.
In a persistent way. Right? If you want an investment property, you should be learning about all the great moves that investors made at the beginning of their career. And you should also be watching moves about all the poor moves that investors made at the beginning of the year or beginning of their career, right? So what did they invest in that worked out? What did they invest in that didn't work out? Right? Where did they spend their money? And could they have spent their money differently? Right?
And Tom and Joanne Curtin have a monthly meetup where they talk about what they've done in investing. Last one was how to and they're recorded, so you can go back and watch them. The last one was how to estimate repairs. So it's very powerful because I think they have now 8 rental properties.
I thought that number was higher actually. Plus they're investors in the market center. Plus they have very substantial profit share, et cetera, right? Okay, any other thoughts or questions? Any feedback on that?
I was going to add that it's nice to see this, to look at your goals, your growth goals on just one sheet for the year, where it helps you focus on it really narrows your focus for the month, the current month that you're in. And it like you said, this has components that tie back to the 411 or some of the other tools that we're using. And you can even pull the philosophy of the one thing. So you will, take, whether it's like, with whatever category. So learn, read, listen, teach, or attend, you can take your, the one thing that will help. What does he say? The one thing that by doing this.
What is the one thing such that by doing it,
eliminate.
What is the one thing that I can do such that by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary? Right.
So, exactly. So by focusing on these things, it's just another tool to help you grow and in these specific areas. So, and another tool to review on a very regular basis.
Right. Like I even have on here like special topic for Miriam, Shana, and Ben. So that Miriam, Shana is my daughter, Ben's my son. And like, so I can't tell you I've done this religiously, but there certainly have been months where we've executed this. And I'll say, hey, Ben, you got what kind of questions do you have? What do you want to learn about? Oh, I want to learn about giraffes. Cool. Let's spend some time learning about giraffes this month. Right. And we watch a video about what a giraffe eats, and we watch a video about what eats a giraffe, and we watch a video about blah, 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 how they're born, how they grow, where they live, right? And that becomes quality time for us. And, it's setting a good example, right? I'm teaching him how to be learning based.
And you're like his own personal tour guide almost. Yeah. at a Montessori school, which is awesome because you're teaching him how to pursue his curiosities and to flex that muscle, which is, I kind of wish I had that. Not that I'm lacking in any way, but I mean, we are where we are. But that's like, I really like that. And that makes me think, oh, I should do that with, like, that would be good for me to do with my kids. But I like that.
They'll start teaching you stuff. They'll come up
Right.
to you, hey, Daddy, what do you want to learn this month?
Yeah. Hey, Bill,
Yeah.
I have found that when I have become intentional about teaching something to somebody else, whether it's a group of Boy Scouts or whoever, I always get so much more out of it preparing for the lesson. I always learn far more, than I've always, than I've ever learned, that I knew in the past. And that's always been valuable to me. And I like the idea of having teaching on the list there. I think that's great.
Yeah. They say if you want to master something, you just got to be a teacher of it.
Yeah.
Right. So if your listing presentation is weaker than it should be, then call somebody up and say, hey, I'm going to teach you my listing presentation next Thursday. And boy, now the pressure's on. Right.
Right.
All right. Any other final thoughts on this? Is this helpful? Is this something that you think you could adopt in your business? By the way, I was just moving around some papers, but like, here's my 411. Okay. On the back of my 411 is something called my daily read. It's got like some things I'm grateful for, some thoughts I want to, have in my mind. It's reminding me about some things that I've determined are important for me to think about every day, right? On the next page, I have my productivity coaching GPS, my sales team's GPS, and on the back side, I got my growth plan, right? And this is literally never more than like 20 feet from me. Okay, the furthest this will ever get from me is when it's sitting in my car after I get home and I'm not working the rest of the day. Does that make sense? Like, this is always, if you could say, hey, give me your growth plan, you got 30 seconds, no problem. I got it. It's like right there, right? So if I hear of a good book, I think I'll read that next month. If I hear of something I want to learn about, right, just jot it down. Learning based, guys. All right. Any final thoughts, questions?
I have one.
All right.
To sum it up, I feel that your success of the future is determined by your preparation of today.
All right. I want you to remember that exact line. I'm going to have you close us out with that here in like 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. That was
Okay.
that's like the mic drop of the day right there. I just want to since I started the meeting by reminding you that to take a moment to celebrate, I just want to take one quick moment to celebrate what we've been up to in March. Okay. We have now eclipsed, I haven't done the calculations on the last closing we had, but we now have more company dollar in March month to date than we've had in any month since this program started. Okay, so you guys are rocking it. We are over 60% of the way to our goal, less than half of the way through the month, because many of us have not reported for the second week. And we are pretty much at halfway through our goal for listings taken. We've taken 23 listings out of our 52 goal for the month. I'm just really proud of you guys. I have been watching you plant seeds for months and months and months. And some people like, Mary Steele, who's on the call, she'll probably be hiring an assistant in like a week at the rate she's going. Markia, Ebony, you guys are crushing it. And I am super, super proud of you. Anyone else? All right, Ebony, close us down.
Your success of the future is determined by your preparation of today.
All right. You heard it from her. Have a great day.
I love it, Ebony.
Thank you. You have a good day.